Hey guys, Luna here, and welcome back to Friendsim 2. We're currently in the process of going through our salvation run, and we just had an interesting encounter with someone, but we shuffled unceremoniously into a closet into the side of the room. Something about this gives you a weird sense of deja vu, as if you've been in a similar position in the past, but something about this feels so much more worse, so much more real.
Your Majesty, he's here.
This time, Tetra doesn't even correct Ramil's use of her title. You hear her walking over to the corner of the room to retrieve her trident.
I know. I saw a ship coming in. Just stay quiet and don't say anything.
You hear someone coming up the stairs closely behind Ramil.
My dear heiress, I hope that you're decent. We have to talk.
His voice, it's so good. They thread through the slants of the closet. You have to squint to make out the figure standing on the opposite of Triza, the one she called the Imperator. He's tall, with the air of someone who spent most of his life in the military. Even though you've never met him before, his face looks like someone you met before in your nightmares.
Petrus, what the fuck are you doing here? Haven't you already taken enough from me?
Petra laughs slowly.
Oh? Are we on first-name basis now, my dear heiress? Please. You knew exactly what you were risking before you attempted that ridiculous stunt. Besides, that isn't even why I'm here. Not exactly.
Then again, what the fuck are you doing here?
I'm here to inform you that you are to begin to prepare for your upcoming proving. I thought it best that I come in person so as to impress upon you the seriousness of this situation.
Triza's face goes pale and she shakes her head, rocking back on her heels.
Bullshit. Proving isn't until 15 sweeps. I'm just now 12.
The Imperator chuckles, as if he's just told him a particularly stupid joke.
I believe it's within the rights of her imperious condescension to make some modifications, don't you?
Fuck you, I'm not ready yet.
Be that as it may, you have the next 2 periges to get ready. This will give our Empress the time she requires to return from her latest conquest.
Triza grits her teeth and shifts forward again, leaning on her weight on her trident.
And what if I don't want to do that?
You're intimately familiar with what happened the last time you showed this kind of open defiance, Your Majesty.
You know what? Fuck you. What can you do to me that you haven't already done? You want to hurt me? To kill me? Fuck you. Do it. What'll your precious Empress think then?
The Imperator doesn't answer right away, but you can make out the smile playing across his face.
Your implication is correct, of course. I cannot do anything to you. But there is nothing stopping me from skinning her alive.
I feel like there should have been a little bit more emphasis on her, but I do like his intonation. He gestures toward Emil, who flinches and draws back. You can see the change on Tizra's face even from your hiding spots.
You fucking...
She shifts again, muscles tense like the spring of a gun's hammer, ready to fire, and the Imperator sees it, and he doesn't care.
Your Majesty, I believe that we have another matter to attend to today.
No one says anything, and you can feel the tension in the room. Crap. Petrus turns toward the closet, and you get the sense that you should be very quiet. Just moving very fast. Finally, the Imperator shrugs and turns back to Tizra, who's still standing there like she wants to run the train right through him. But she doesn't, and you notice that the Imperator's hand rests on the pistol at his side. You wonder if Tizra could have moved fast enough to beat him to the draw. Let me see, is there settings for that? I forget if there's a way to... I don't remember.
I didn't come here to waste my time, Your Majesty. You know what is expected of you. You know the consequences. I fail to see anything else I can add. Make your peace however you will.
The Imperator leans over to Emil and drops his voice. You have to strain to hear.
And you, my dear Cerulean, will ensure she stays focused and inform me of any issues, or else I will ensure you die screaming.
For 10 minutes, you sit in the closet trying to keep your racing heart under control. Tizra and Ramil talk in voices too low for you to overhear. Part of you wants to know, but the other part of you wants to just be able to breathe normally, so you focus on that. Finally, Trissa opens the door to the closet and pulls you out.
You see, nothing is ever as simple as it seems.
Yeah, you're definitely getting that impression, which shouldn't even surprise you, you guess. Your big question right now is if the incredibly scary Violet Blood, the High Imperator, is gone or not. Tezra shakes her head.
He has most likely retreated to his ship to attend to other business for a while. Come with me. Let's head to the library.
Why? You're not saying you don't want to go anywhere with her, it's just that you're not really getting what this is going to accomplish. Shouldn't you be mostly working on getting out of here?
Oh, trust me, that hasn't left my mind. But there are things you need to know about first. Things about Alternia, things about me, and why what you're asking is far more complicated than you could possibly imagine.
Trissa, if this one knows a way out, shouldn't we take it?
There's a beat where Trissa paused to look at you thoughtfully, and she isn't angry or anything, but there's something uncomfortable about it. It's like she looks through you rather than at you. Like she sees something that even you don't want to talk about.
Trissa.
I heard you, but I think that this one maybe needs to understand what's really happening here.
You know what? You feel like you've actually got a pretty good understanding of what Alternia is about.
Of course. There's something rotten at the very heart of Alternia, and I think you've seen it.
You feel that tingle running up and down all over.
You've seen it, felt it, faced it head on. It's in between the words you say to me.
Trissa, you're starting to scare me.
Remily, you of all people know how much you should be scared.
Wait, what does she mean? Ramil swallows heavily and looks around.
I was accused of art theft by a Violet Blood. My punishment was being assigned here.
That's awful, but it also doesn't make any sense. From everything you've seen, it would make far more sense for them just to kill her. Mila avoids your eyes.
I had other skills they needed. It was very situational.
Very interesting accent, because it didn't accentuate in that letters. You keep following Trissa along the hallways toward the library. As you walk, you pass portraits of women and girls that look similar to Trissa. You can't help but notice that some of the younger girls are pictured with women wearing very familiar shades of green.
I can see you looking at them.
Yeah, you're wondering about some of those portraits.
Not exactly.
With a past emperor? What did I say? You figured from the context these are past empresses. Okay, well, something like that. But you were wondering about the ones of the women in green, Jade Bloods? Trissa nods and walks over to one portrait in particular, one of the smaller ones. It shows a young girl holding a hand of a stern-looking Jade Blood.
We don't have loose eyes, so we're raised by the matrons. Jade Bloods. You're right about that.
Trissa's face twists into a frown.
A jade woman with her vocal cords removed.
Ugh. Wait, what the fuck?
The idea is to limit contact with the heiress, especially during her formative years.
You don't have to tell them about this.
Yes, I do.
Trissa places a hand on the portrait and shakes her head.
She was like a Lucis to me. Since I was a grub, she was the only person I ever saw, other than him. And then, one day, when I'd finally reached 6 sweeps...
Trissa, you don't have to.
She was gone. I woke up one morning to find her vanished, and I never saw her again. It was then that the Imperator began my true education.
So for 6 years... She glares off into the distance, and you wonder what this means. What truths the euphemism hides.
The part that hurts the most, that haunts me, is that I never even knew her name.
Trissa.
Ramila walks over and places a hand on Trissa's shoulders. You're expecting Trissa to shake her up, but instead she just lets her shoulders slump as she shakes her head.
It doesn't matter.
But she doesn't finish her sentence. Instead, her eyes go wide and she looks around quickly. Ramil picks up on it immediately, so quickly it's uncanny.
She's coming back. We need to hide.
Wait. Ramil practically drags you along the hallway back into the dining room. She finds a section of the wall panel that looks slightly different from the rest and stops. She slaps the side of it, and the big panel pops away, revealing a small space behind, just big enough for the 1 or 2 people.
Get inside.
Wait a minute, can't you...
Get inside!
Once you step inside the space, Ramil jumps in behind you and pulls the panel close. When she speaks, her voice is barely above a whisper.
We need to keep quiet. She'll hear us.
Outside, you can hear heavy footsteps.
Why are you back already?
That is so creepy.
Of course you can't answer me.
You struggle to keep yourself under control. You can hear her moving outside. Next to you, Ramil elbows you in the ribs.
Keep quiet.
Just go back to your hole. Leave me alone. I said go back!
So creepy and good. This time you can hear Nikki right inside the panel, and you know that if she notices you, it won't take any effort at all to rip it away. You can hear her hands on the panel.
What are you doing? I told you to leave!
The sound of the hand on the panel, the slight scrape of nails on wood. You hold your breath and close your eyes. And then there's only silence.
Oh, thank God.
She knew you were there. When the panel does open again, it's only Trissa standing there looking at you. Well, that was objectively terrifying.
Are you okay?
You're not sure if okay is the word you choose, but you're alive if that's what she's going for.
That will suffice. The indigo will be off for a while longer.
She has a name. Her name is Nikki. Trissa winces.
Yes, well, Nike will be occupied for a while longer. We should continue.
When you reach the library, Tezzera motions for you all to take a seat in one of the massive chairs that sits along the walls. You settle in and she walks over to one of the shelves and retrieves a thick book.
I told you before, there's something rotten at the heart of all of this. And here we are, so close to the center of everything.
A hole that consumes everything around it. A void without end, an impossibly old house. You shiver.
Teresa, you do not need to do this. You owe this person nothing.
I don't do things because I owe anyone anything. You know this.
She walks over to where you're sitting and sets the book down on the side table.
You want to know what the core of this looks like?
You nod. You don't know why, but you nod.
Let me tell you about Krydia Jivik.
Another one of those shivers runs up your back. Is it too late to opt out of this? Maybe you should have taken up Scratch on his offer all those cycles ago. Just gone back home to the locked timeline. Surely you've done enough for all of your friends, right? But you've seen where they all were, how bad things got because of all that Eternia just is. Maybe there's more to the story.
Krydia was a violet blood, my age. Off-world, living in one of the grand arcologies built for the high bloods in orbit around the planet. Always close to home, while still technically filling the Empress's mandate that trolls leave the planet when they reach their 10th sweep.
You're not sure where you're supposed to sit to any of this, so you just sit down and shut up.
But Krydia cared about more than living in comfort. She cared about the plight of the lowest among us.
So she was into low blood rights? That seems like something that's pretty dangerous to be into.
You could say that. But she thought her status as a high blood would protect her.
This is interesting, you guess, but you're not really seeing what this has to do with Trissa, what was saying before.
You're an impatient one, aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes. Trissa laughs.
At least you're honest. There's more to the story. There's always more to the story. Krydia was outspoken on Chitter, the way that the Empire lets high bloods be outspoken.
Just enough to feel better, but never enough to disrupt things?
Exactly. You see, you have a better sense of things than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah, you had to figure that one out on the fly lately. What was she saying about Krydia, though?
Of course. Krydia started talking to a certain fuchsia blood around her age.
Which is obviously Trissa. You feel like you're being babied a little bit, but also this feels like it's important to how Trissa is processing this. There is something that feels incredibly raw here.
I'll drop the pretense. I started talking to Krydia privately. Personally. Maybe I thought that things would be different than they always are. Maybe I thought our station would protect us. That my station would protect us.
You're not loving how this is going, or how this is gonna end.
What's the point in lying to you? To myself. I was flushed for her. Maybe I thought that would save her somehow.
The worst part of every tragedy is that outcome is inevitable.
I woke that morning to find him already at my tower.
The conclusion is foregone.
He explained the situation to me, that she was gone.
Even before you read the first word of the first page.
No, he didn't bother with euphemisms. He took great joy in describing the way she'd screamed my name before she died.
Expecting Trisha to start crying, but somehow she doesn't. Her voice feels like there's something missing from it.
And that was it. The last spark of hope. He had a cerulean and an indigo with him, ones who no longer existed.
She doesn't explain this, but you catch the meaning quickly enough.
You don't have to do this. It's still so fresh.
Stop it. I know that. I wanted to make a promise to myself that I wouldn't care about anyone after what happened. But I was never a talented liar, in spite of everything. Remily, I'm sorry.
Trisha sighs and closes her eyes, drawing in a long breath and holding it. When she lets it out again, her whole body seems to deflate.
So what can I do? You need to understand what I am, what I'm destined to do.
You're thinking you're starting to get the idea, actually. She's the heiress, the one who succeeds the Empire. Maybe? You got that much. Also, from context, it's pretty clear that the process isn't set in a way that would be described as non-violent. But what about the other fuchsias? Aren't there other heiresses out there?
There is one heiress. Fuchsias are hatched in groups and selectively culled down to the most promising grub.
You feel the bile slosh in your stomach as the reality of what this means hits you.
The rest is education. Alternian history, philosophy, science, combat training. And when the time comes, the proving and the chance to ascend to the place of the next Empress. Of course, most of us never survive that part of the process. Those that do tend to be formidable adversaries.
She sighs heavily and tosses the book she was holding down onto the table.
Teresa, you need to give yourself some time to recover from everything. You try to pretend that everything is fine and you don't need help, but anyone can see what a dumbass liar you are.
Yeah, the more I'm hearing Emil's voice, I like it, but I also don't like it. Obviously, everyone has their own headcanon of what it sounds like. But it's just, whatever, because I feel like there's some type of, modification or something they did to slightly alter her voice. It's just not working for me. Trista laughs and turns to smile softly at Ramil, her eyes catching the cerulean's gaze for a moment. You can't help but think that Ramil strikes you as being maybe one of the most different of all of your friends, like she had the light inside of her snuffed out. But you think that you can see a little bit of that spark still burning.
You see, if I leave, then Remily dies. He will hunt her to the ends of the Empire, simply to twist the knife in me a quarter turn. When he saw that I cared about Crydia, I revealed my weakness to him. I gave him the surest way to control me.
Okay, that's enough. You can't just keep sitting here calmly and listening to this. Everything is about Eternia is horrible. She's right. There's a rotten, festering core at the heart of everything. A world designed to be a petri dish of the worst possible outcomes for everything. But you know what? You're fucking tired of it. You're tired of everyone having to struggle and scrape and just fight to get by. You barely know this woman, but why should she be any different? You don't care about what color her blood is, what place she's been put into. You can help her escape. You explain the situation with your powers and how you can figure out a way to get them back and take them all away into the locked timeline you've built. You think that Treza could really help out there. There's actually a young future you think you could use some guidance, actually. Trisha shakes her head. She's starting to chew nervously on her bottom lip, and you're wondering how much confidence she showed when talking to the High Imperator was a mask.
No, you can't help me escape. My place. I need to be here.
Why, though? Why the heck would she choose to stay behind here? For what?
Because I can kill her.
Okay, no, this is absolutely... You stop. There's something behind her eyes that wasn't there before, or maybe you didn't see it there before. Something so deep that maybe it threatens to swallow her whole.
I won't let her keep doing this. If she wants to run back here because she feels threatened by me, then let her feel threatened.
You have no idea how much she believes that.
So no, you can't help me escape. But you can help her escape.
She points to Emil, who lifts her head.
You can't be serious. I can't just leave you to this.
You squint at Emil, who didn't think she was the kind of person to just care for someone else to did or didn't do.
You're so stupid you think no one ever changes. Besides, I didn't say I cared about what someone else does. I care about what she does.
Because she cares about Tirza? Mia goes a little blue and shakes her head.
Because I know how it feels to lose my freedom. Because that mattered to me more than anything.
She's glaring now, and you can see a bit of the same hatred that burned behind Trizer's eyes there as well.
Your freedom is something that never should have been taken from you. I'll help.
No, you will do no such thing. I can handle this on my own.
I wasn't asking for your permission.
Mia paced back and forth in the room, finally stopping near a bookcase.
Fuck! I can't stand here anymore in this stuffy room. Let's go back to the dining hall. At least it doesn't smell like moldy paper in there.
A new thing from Tizera. Tired of hiding. I'm not going to stay in this tower anymore. Connie, you piece of shit. I know you're out there. If you're coming for me, it's your body in the disposal. Trending in politics, High impaired her to speak on concerns about the alien invader, hide society inside the glamorous world of the heiress. Interesting. How does she feel about Trizza?
That is complicated.
That's why you're here to help. You can provide a helpful ear for listening just as much as you can provide a handy escape from the hellscape that's Eternia. Well, you're stuck at working on that second one, so maybe you're just better at listening at this specific moment in time.
Right. Teresa is... She cares a lot. Not sure what I'm supposed to do with that.
You get the sense that Trizza cares a lot about Emil specifically.
Because she feels guilt. If she hadn't lost Credia, she'd feel differently. Always the same for the High Bloods. If it doesn't affect them personally, it doesn't exist.
You're getting the sense that Trizza genuinely cared, though, about the low bloods and all that.
Sure, of course, but she's still never been down there. She doesn't know what it's like. Everything you see around you, it's all a prison. But that prison keeps her isolated as much as it keeps her trapped.
You do get the feeling that Trizza's going to have some unpacking to do, and you're not talking about her luggage.
What?
Never mind, you're just thinking about your stupid out loud thoughts again.
You are pretty stupid, yeah.
So, how did she end up here? Mio sighs and shakes her head.
That's a long story.
Well, it's not like either of you is going anywhere until Trizza gets back. Maybe she has some time for the abridged version?
Fine. You know I was an artist. You know because you met me back then. I had such promise in the realm of popular art.
Yeah, you do remember that. She seemed like a pretty cutthroat scene, but you definitely seemed at home with it.
Well, it's hard to be involved in the art world when a violet blood accuses you of art theft.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Out of curiosity, did she commit art theft in question? Mia glares and clicks her tongue.
That isn't important. I was expecting a short trial and unpleasant execution, but I got taken here instead. I think it might have been better to have the execution.
Does she know what's happening on the outside?
I'm guessing you don't mean just outside the tower.
No, of course not. More like the current situation in the Empire, what's going on with the rebellion and all that.
I don't know much. I see what the Empire approves on Chitter, and obviously that's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, you're not honestly sure how well things are going out with the rebels. You've mostly been focusing on trying to get everyone safely away, so some of the specifics are getting lost in the mix.
I'll take your word for it.
So what does she do here?
I keep the Ares Cheater up to date for the Empire, and my duty is to serve the Ares.
She glances around quickly as if she's instinctively checking for someone who might be listening in.
Mostly she just talks to me. Like I'm her moirail. It's weird.
Weird how? Emil shrugs.
I don't know. I think she misses her mate sprite, and I'm just here to fill the gap.
Wait, Trizza's mate sprites?
God, you really are dumb, aren't you? Credia. Anyone could see they were flourished for each other. We might as well put a name to it.
Flourished? You mean flushed? Oh yeah, you suppose that does make sense given that Trizza said before. You feel bad for her.
I do too. I'm not without a heart. I might be a thief, but I'm not a monster.
Wait, didn't she just say she didn't commit theft?
I only implied that.
So she was writing Chizo's Twitter post?
Yes, it was one of the jobs that fish fucker assigned me.
She rolls her eyes to indicate the intensity of disgust with, you assume, the High Imperator.
Exactly. High Imperator. But he just a stuck-up ass.
Well, he does seem more than a little bit terrifying.
Of course he's terrifying. You think I'm an idiot?
Okay, she makes a good point, but this is drifting off topic. She writes everything for Chizo's post for how long?
Since I was brought here a few cycles ago after Credia disappeared.
How does she know what to write?
They tell me and I fill in the bits that they left out. Just the usual bullshit about how great the Empire is. It's not hard to make it sound convincing because no one gives a shit.
But how can she live like this? You're having trouble how she can even accept the way things are. She's constantly under surveillance, and one wrong move could mean her death. Ramil is laughing at you.
Oh, like everywhere else is so much better. At least Teresa tries to keep me safe. For whatever that's worth. I'd be stupid to try to find a way out.
Except that you're here to help her with that.
Yes, that was the idea. Do you think I wouldn't take the chance to get out?
Well, you've seen people that actually seem to like it here, so...
Not me. Fuck this planet and this empire. If you really can get me away from here, then I suppose I'd be grateful.
Explain that you're not doing this for anyone's gratitude. You just want all of your friends to be safe.
Is that what we were? Friends?
She looks at you skeptically, but you grin and nod enthusiastically. Of course you're friends. You did a murder together? Mia laughs.
I guess. You're funny.
You stretch yourself out, feeling your spine pop as it strains. You realize just how long it's been since you've had a chance to properly rest.
What in the world is taking her so long?
No idea. You don't really know Trizer well at all, and you didn't meet her on their last trip to Eternia.
Well, I don't like it. You know that Indigo Monster is coming back soon.
You don't have time to answer her. Oh, god, okay. Arrow keys and mouse. Crap, you grab Ramil's hand, scramble back toward the staircase that leads up the tower. Left. Behind you, Nikki comes barreling after you. How the heck does she move so fast? Left. You hear her stomping along, breathing in even measure. This isn't making her exert herself. Right. You think you can see Triza out on the balcony. Maybe she can convince Nikki to stop. Left. You and Mia reach the balcony, panting and grasping for breath.
What's going on here? I told you to...
Pridger stops and looks at the hulking figure of Nikki. Her trident is resting nearby and propped up against the balcony. But so far, Nikki's so close. You close your eyes. Oh. Oh, looks so cool but terrifying. You barely have time to register what happens next. You motion nearby, and your eyes open to see Treasure grab the trident and run for it in one fluid motion. Without even breaking a stride, she plunges the trident deep into Nikki's chest, a gout of deep blue blood spreading out around the wounds. Triza doesn't stop, leaning all the strength into the blow. Nikki is strong, but she's not invulnerable. And finally, she falls back with a soft grunt. Triza pulls the trident back, leaving the splatters of indigo across the floor. Slowly, you walk toward Nikki. There's something in her face that you didn't see before, a sense of recognition. Hey, it's okay, The High Imperator is standing in the doorway, holding a pistol, and Nikki lies slumped over on the ground, a neat hole in the middle of her forehead.
I see that I've arrived just in time for some hive cleaning.
For a minute, everything freezes in place, and you feel like you can't breathe. He's here, and you have no idea what you're supposed to do.
Tris, I'll fucking kill!
No, you won't.
You can see the hesitation in the moment, the second where she thinks she can outrun him to the shrine, but that realization, there's no way she can outdraw him.
I would hate to do it, but I'm sure the Empress would understand. She will, of course, be disappointed, but I can weather disappointment.
Obviously, violence and blood warning, if you couldn't see that. Trezor relaxes and you slide back toward her, followed by Ramil. It's okay, you were just leaving.
And you are? I don't believe we've been formally introduced.
It's a mutant Lucis. Remily found it wandering down by the edge of the beach.
Really? Interesting.
Oh yeah, that's you, mutant Lucis. Your guy just wandered from place to place. You know how it is.
Indeed. I can't say that I've ever encountered such an unusual specimen in my time. Granted, I've seen some truly strange things.
It is true. I found them wandering as if they were lost.
Well now, how can I possibly ignore the testimony of two such reliable Alternians, including the word of the heiress herself?
Quick time decision making for me. It's okay, you're
I
just
see.
literally leaving. So he's convinced, right? You're definitely just crazy talking Lucis. Look, you can do Lucis science and everything.
No, I believe I've seen enough here.
Wait, you just said something stupid again. You know, like a Lucis. You can explain yourself.
I suppose.
Yeah, you're definitely Lucis. Petrus stares at you intently. You really wish that you'd stop doing that. Instead, he's responding right away. He tenses his fingers and leans forward, and oh wow, he's still staring. That is very unsettling. So he gets it, right? Just a weird mutant talking Lucis.
If that is indeed the case, where did Remily find you? I can't imagine you just wandered in here on your own.
You're not sure where you came from. I see. I believe. Imperial laughs, you get the feeling you messed up.
You know what? This bores me. I knew you were lying from the beginning, but I'd hoped you would at least prove entertaining. Instead, you simply bore me.
The world slows down, you can see the Imperator hand moving, and out of the corner of your eye, Trizza moves forward. She doesn't even have a chance to close the distance before the gun rings out. Her back blooms with the death blossoms as the heavy round punches through, shredding her torso. Without a word, the Imperator pivots. Disposable. Council, see you now. Try again.
I see.
Yeah. You're definitely Lucis. Yeah.
If that is indeed the case, where did Remily find you? I can't imagine you just wandered in here on your own.
You were just wandering
Well
on the
now,
beach.
this is quite interesting. A wandering Lucis brought in by our cerulean friend. So, what were you doing before?
Before you showed up here? Petra's face grows dark and looks distinctly more done with your bullshit.
Of course, what were you doing before you came here?
Learning to fly
I see.
spaceships. So he's convinced, right? You definitely seem like you're definitely crazy talking Lucius. Look, you can do Lucius dance and everything.
No, I believe I've seen enough.
Wait.
I suppose.
Teaching at the Grub School Center. Okay, this is actually kind of a thing. I'm going to report this in the. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but I'm definitely going to report the fact that they don't speak a second time. So, but yeah, because the second time when you answer the Imperator question wrong, he doesn't speak. Don't know it's intentional. Yeah.
You know what? I knew you were lying from the instead.
Yeah, try again. Yeah, you're definitely Lucis. You're wandering on the beach. Eating babies mostly. So he's convinced, right? Okay.
No.
Keeping grubs safe.
Of course. You were one of the cavern Luci. I should have guessed. You have the air of one touched by the meddling of the Jade Bloods, after all. Now perhaps the most interesting puzzle of them all. The question of your outfit.
Oh yeah, your hoodie that.
Indeed. Where does a Lucis come across something like that? And that symbol, a cerulean sigil. How very interesting.
You just kind of found it. Try again? Okay, this is gonna be. Yeah, you're definitely a Lucis. Wandering on the beach, keeping grubs safe. A friend gave it to you. He eyes you skeptically and getting bad.
Enough!
So wait, let me actually go back that. Let's see. Yes. Everything's fine. You're a Lucis who lived in the Jave Caverns, and a kindly cerulean gave you this hoodie because you're cold. Nothing unusual at all. Everything's just fine. You're just leaving. Petrus eyes you skeptically, and you're getting a really bad feeling about this. He says enough. The Imperator laughs and begins to walk towards you.
This has been extremely entertaining, but I fear that I must break your illusion. You are obviously no Lucis. In fact, You are clearly the alien who was so recently removed from the Imperial kill list.
Oh, crap.
My question to you is, what are you doing here?
It's not the first time you've heard that question in the last few cycles, but this is the first time it's felt so utterly terrifying to hear. Well, you were just... Honestly, you just want to get out of here.
Admirable. But the problem lies with who you want to get out of here with.
He takes a step forward towards you and glares down at you, and you can feel the force of that stare piecing right through
I've
you.
served this empire for 60 sweeps. You can't imagine what I've seen in that time.
Holy crap, you had no idea how old he was. He scuttered backwards, glancing quickly between Chizzer and Remily. The Imperator's attention is focused entirely on
I've seen
you.
worlds burning, the atmospheres of entire planets turned into a firestorm.
He draws his gun and presses against your forearm. There's nowhere else to run.
Cities turned into glass-lined craters. Millions of lives snuffed out in the blink of an eye.
Violence and blood. Warning. There's nothing left for you. No more options. No more ways out. Close your eyes and get ready for what comes next.
All of it.
In front of you, the High Imperator's chest sprouts 3 evenly spaced points as Treasure's Titan busts through, spraying you with jets of violets. The force of the blow knocks the pistol from his hand, and you scamper off to kick it out of his reach.
Petrus, I always hated listening to your fucking lectures. Remember the one on counterinsurgency from when I was 8 sweeps old? The landfall colony?
Petra doesn't answer. All he can manage is a strange gurgle.
It was important to ensure that the colonists knew that the word of the Empress carried weight. That was your justification for the massacre.
You can see the light fading from his eyes, and you can tell that even in his final moments he doesn't regret his decisions.
I knew you were a monster. I always knew.
There's definitely a lot of art in this. Tezer doesn't even bother to take the Triton out of his High Imperator. She simply leaves the body impaled on the ground. You can feel your stomach churning at the sight of it, but this is just on par for the course now. You've seen so much of violence lately.
I know what you want. You want to save us from this place. To take us to freedom. And I appreciate that, but...
She sighs and looks towards Remule.
I can't go with you.
Teresa, what in the world are you talking about? Why not?
It's complicated. I can't go with you, but she can.
No, this is ridiculous. What's stopping us from both going?
Okay, this is an argument that can be cut extremely short. Got a friend waiting nearby with a spaceship, but that's not going to be here forever. You can pull out your Palmex and type a quick message to Bronia. You know that she'll be able to keep Remule safe until you can finish getting your powers back and go along with everyone else.
Fine. You want to stay here and face whatever comes next by yourself? Fine. I'm not stupid enough to stay here for that.
Remule turns to you and frowns deeply. You can see the conflict brewing on her face. Look, you say, she doesn't owe anyone anything. Treasure can make her own decisions.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. I owe you one.
No, she doesn't. You're not doing this for favors. You're doing this because you care about them. Because you fared them all before.
Sure, let's go with that. I'll see you soon, Damas.
With a quick smile, Remule walks down the stairs, leaving you alone with Chiza. Okay, so Mia's on her way now. Now about Chiza. She can't possibly think it's a good call to stay here.
It doesn't matter. I already explained that I'm not leaving.
Yeah, but why?
I told you about Krydia already. But what I didn't tell you is, I knew she was involved with the rebels. I was getting ready to disappear with her. To become a symbol of what the people of the Empire could be. When she died, I told myself that I'd keep doing what she started here, even though she wasn't there to see it through. So I'm going to keep her legacy alive. Those ideas are bigger than any single person. Bigger than any single moment in time.
The world around you freezes in place, and you didn't feel that same deeply familiar thing clawing at you did the very beginning. And you feel that same deeply familiar thing clawing at you that did at the very beginning of all of this.
I'm sorry, my dear reader, but this has gone on for far too long.
Escape clause. You chose salvation. Volume 13. Mio finally discovered her path to freedom. The tower at the end of the world. What happens next is entirely up to you. Yes, I do want to save my progress so far. Save it. The Shadow of All Things is volume 14. And with that, that is the end for this volume. You'll see me again soon with the Revolution route. So I hope I see you guys next time, and I hope the stars guide you from wherever they are in the future. So see you next time, everybody.